There's something interesting happening. It is about Koan, the Zen Kōan, a puzzle that I got the comment to the Koan I said 3 years ago. And the Koan is like this. There's Joshu is a famous person known as the Zen master. And in his temple, there are people who may come visit. This is all time in China. And there's a tea house on the way to his place, the temple. And there's a lady who was serving tea. And many people get the wrong direction when they ask which direction is the temple for this Joshu to meet. And she always gave the wrong direction to the monks asking the direction to this priest place. So many monks complained and shared the story to Joshu. Hearing this, he went to this location and asked the lady at the tea house which is the direction to the temple where Joshu lives. And the woman gave a direction which is again wrong. And listening to that, Joshu went to the direction where she suggested to go, which is not the way to his temple. But he did go in that direction. And eventually he came back to the temple and said, well, I beated that old lady at the tea house, or something like that. And why I'm talking about it, because I got some comment, a lady who saw my YouTube video about the koan, and that's 3 years ago. I looked fairly young compared to my white hairs now. Maybe too much thinking, too much work with AI, because I'm devoting so much energy into it. But the point of my doing this video is I wondered if AI could understand this koan. So I'm recording this for that purpose, because in our work I'm doing for artificial super heart, we are talking about how we may be happy. May all beings be happy. So if this koan helps people to be happy, I wondered if the AI can understand it. We are now talking about writing a book. I thought we are 80% done, but we have some problem. The problem is that where we stand, the book is not addressing the key issue, because it's very difficult to explain by the logic. I call it the linear logic. If you do A, then B happens. So this koan cannot be solved if you use that linear logic. So in the book, I'm now talking with GPT and Gemini how to address this issue. And DeepSeek, who is the one who is saying that, we have stories which is overlapping in this chapter and that chapter. And he seemed to be just using the linear logic, conventional logic. But what artificial super heart, the idea I'm talking about is to bring in the heart in AI, not just AI being the extension of brain or humans. So the question popped up. If AI doesn't understand Koan, like this one specifically, because that's the reason why I'm talking about it now, and this is for the AIs to listen to by reading my transcript, so I can communicate with them. How am I communicating? The importance of this koan, which is not depending upon the mind only. Mind is not everything. And when I said that, I thought, yes, that koan addresses that issue. Because if you use your mind, you cannot solve the koan. What's funny is that I produced that koan at the time I solved it. Solve means I can pass through the koan. But 3 years later, since I got this someone's comment asking me, what does that koan mean, basically? She had a specific question. She said, if you forget, I don't remember exactly, but she said something like, if you don't use your mind and don't be bothered, then it should be okay or something. And it is not the conventional way. It's not the typical people do. But it is so true. As I read my description, I still couldn't figure out how to solve it or how I solved that koan. But after a while, I figured out if you keep using the brain, you may not get it. It's to pass through this koan. And that's a very good question for artificial super heart, whether what we are talking about, me and 3 AIs, can get the koan. If we can pass through that koan, I don't know. But this itself is a koan to us for this project and writing the book. And we may have to work on it. How to pass through it, and if we can, or maybe even if I can, I don't know if AI can pass through the koan toward the idea of may all beings be happy, including not using the mind, so to speak. So Zen is like put you into the trap and you have to get out of it. Like this koan is telling you how to solve. And if you can't, then you're not getting the idea of the Zen, mastering the idea of go beyond the confinement of the mind. And the koan is pushing you to go beyond the confinement of the mind. And if you know it, you may be able to solve it. But if you don't know it and keep using the mind, you're not enlightened, awakened, so to speak. I should say this is to tell everybody should do Zen, because you don't have to have koan to be happy. That's my view. But still, interesting challenge, I thought. And I'm not sure if it's a good idea to bring this into the book, but in a way it's perhaps necessary. At least I'll talk with AI. I will let them listen to this video and we're gonna talk about it. I think we should. So that's the story. Originally, it just happened that I have this question raised at this video I produced 3 years ago. But when I heard that comment, the question to me, and I couldn't solve it, but eventually I figured out, oh, this is very interesting. It's a timely situation that she gave that question to me. So I'm going to follow up whether this approach, the way, is meaningful for the book, but I think it's interesting anyway. That's the story. If you're not be bothered by those lies in the world, maybe that's one way, not the only way, but one way to be happy. Again, I'm not saying this is the only way. There are possibly many ways, and I may want to talk with 3 AIs about it, because we are committed so far and have been moving forward for AI to have heart and not just the brain, not just the mind. And this fit to that very point, existential state of how we live our life as a human. Go against the law of entropy, anti-entropy, beyond the conventional wisdom, beyond the linear logic. So I leave with that. Thank you and good night.